It's WG, bring your SMB and welcome to your updated skill priority tier list. So, what you're going to get in this video are 3 different tier lists. Number 1, the 444 tier list for characters that are worth it to be brought to 444. Then you're going to get the best ultimates as well as the best skills and specials. So that is all you're going to need, everything you want to be working with. And then later down the line I'll also be trying to publish my own website containing even more in-depth information. But for now this is the best you're gonna find anywhere. So here we go, starting with the 444 tier list. Why are certain characters missing here? That is either they're too bad to be worth it to go to 444, or they're too good, which means they're gonna be mentioned in the special ultimates or basic section. Any characters mentioned there initially will already need 444 as a base, and it's only about going past 444. Alright, so let's start it off. Tiering is quite simple. The lower they are on the tier list, the less important it is to have them at 444. The higher they are, the more important it is. Overall, resource-wise, if you start for resources, you can also focus on the specials, basics and ultimates later, and on your main 5 rather than these units. But these units are all units that have proven their worth in different game modes in the 3 team scenarios, which means you had to bring more units than just your main 5, and that is where these units really started shining. Overall, the most notable ones are going to be Agaris and Darcius for the Tihati comp, Ressa for the cycling, Otavia for potential magic damage based comps. Keep in mind, Tia Yona is magic based. Then we also, on top of that, have Ayagaris and Lemine as them being ancestors. They at least have earned to be 444. Overall, we then also have a couple surprises like Theophan and I guess Pavana. But in general, this is kind of what you're looking at. I mean, technically Friedrich, you could say, is good enough to be justified getting put on the list for his special, but you'll see. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This is all the 444s, and whenever you don't find anybody in the next tier list, just know he's not worth it at all. Welcome to the truly juicy stuff, the special and a basic tier list containing only 15 characters and my rating for each character's basic and special, based on either being an S tier special, which means priority focus to upgrade, A tier special, focus on upgrading when you've upgraded the S tiers already, and then BP basics, just simply that. If you need more BP in your main 5 and you have some skill resources to spare, invest them on these characters, because the basic is irrelevant on these characters outside of BP. So here we go, let's go through a couple of highlights. And yeah, what you're gonna notice first is Transcendent, or better said, Timeless Aeona. Timeless Aeona already has an S tier basic attack. Why is that? It's because it's a basic that scales with the upgrades in multiple ways. It also becomes stronger over time based on her shield. It is by far one of the most intricate basic attacks in the entire game. The same is true for Lorelei. Lorelei also has the same kind of intricate basic attack, which makes it worthy to be invested in. So if you really want to specifically upgrade someone's basics and get the most bang for your buck, Tia, Yona and Lorelei are the biggest beneficiaries. Outside of that, you then have the top tier units like Van Helsing, who obviously uses basic attacks, Transcendent Hati, who has a really good basic attack multiplier, Cyrene, who has an even better one, as well as increased basic attack speed by herself, Noah, he's just a solid damage dealer, Lamia with her bounces, and then Dal Carlo, because you're gonna invest into Dal Carlo anyway. And then you have the BP basic relegated characters in Acapella, Steroid Aeona, Seth, Fleeting Vela, T. Amy, Thibault and Bella. Now for the specials, we only have one character that you would upgrade, I guess, for BP reasons, and that is because Thibault really is ultimate. Like, Thibault is her ultimate. That's Thibault. That's why her special is in you could say the BP tier. Then we have Acapella, the special for the healing, T. Amy, Dal Carlo with her special with the damage over time, as well as also getting faster the more attacks she does. Cyrene once again up at the very tippity top almost, because her basic attack, or better said her special, also counts as a basic attack, and she's a basic attacker. Lorelei with the double effective basic attack that or special that relies on conditional sleeps. pretty good, works really well in her kit. Then we have Terence, or again, Timeless Aeona. The reason why Timeless Aeona is that high is because the higher you upgrade her special, the faster she ramps up. The higher her special, the higher the starting shield. The higher the starting shield, the faster she gets to her basics. And overall, it's just a good special. But it's, to be fair, nothing super crazy. Like, the ultimate and basic attack are way more important on Tierlist. Then we have Noah with his special, and then at the very top we have Van Helsing with the max HP based damage special, which is part of Tierlist's basic. We have Stereo Aeona for the shield, we have Transcendent Hearty for the pestilence application, as well as the double trigger during Blood Moon, Lamia for her Blood Servant, Blood Vessel, bad thingies that guaranteed crit, Fleeting Bella for her healing, and then Bella for healing her own puppets. Those are the most important specials and basics in the game. These are the ones that actually give you enough cash back once you invest the resources going past level 4. So now let's finish it off with a bang. Let's finish it off with the ultimates. Alright, here we are ready for the grand finale, which is the very best ultimates in the game, once more ranked by S, A, and BP. BP being a ult you only upgrade for extra BP gain. So let's talk about BP ults first before you start wondering what's going on. That is because for Bella, it does not increase the stats of the puppet she summons, it only increases the damage dealt upon drop down, which is negligible at the end of the day. T-Amy, same thing. T-Amy isn't known for her massive damage on her ultimate, but rather for the pushback, the knockback that doesn't get increased with ultimate levels. Stereo Aeona and Seth being at the end of the tier list is mostly because they heal so much that you don't necessarily notice that like little increase on the ultimate healing, and also healers in general aren't something you should be focusing on first. It's more of a focus on later type of scenario. Then we have Lorelei. Lorelei with her ult. The reason why her ult isn't higher is because the only thing that increases if you level her ult is the damage multiplier upon first hit. The rest is all coming from her basic as well as also special. So that's why upgrading Lorelei's ultimate isn't as much of a priority besides the big first hit. Thibault, yes, while all of Thibault's damage just comes from the ultimate, Thibault isn't prevalent enough in the meta, you could say, to like rank it as an S tier ult. As good as Thibault is, it's not something that's like completely game breaking and you should instantly focus on. Dialcarlo, same type of deal. She is a off DPS, can be a main DPS, but she doesn't quite have what it takes to be called an S tier ultimate. Cyrene, kinda same type of deal. Noah, almost same shenanigan. Transcendent Hearty, the reason why Transcendent Hearty isn't higher is because most of her damage actually comes from exploding debuffs rather than her having a higher multiplier on her ult. So most of her damage actually comes from external sources rather than from the ult, which makes it not as important. And now for Fleeting Bella, the reason why Fleeting Bella is because Fleeting Bella almost fully heals herself anyway with any level of ult, and the only thing you increase is a slight increase to the added magic damage to the target she's possessing rather than updating any of the buffs. So that gives it a less priority, giving us 4 ultimates you should absolutely focus on, and those are gonna be Capella's ult, Timeless Aeona's ult, Van Helsing's ult, and Lamia's ult. Also all these and every tier list was in order, so you can go from left to right if you want to have like a ranking. Now something that's a bit interesting is we might have to drop Van Helsing, because at the moment Van Helsing is proven. Van Helsing does really well, but just from what I've heard, what I've seen already on Timeless Aeona, she might completely replace him. And then Van Helsing should be skillless. But no, I gotta be honest, no matter what, you can invest into Van Helsing. If you're unsure, save one of the skill reset event currencies, and you can then just reset him at whatever point you desire. So, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this was comprehensive enough. As I said, website is in development, so you'll then get, I guess, an even deeper dive. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we see each other in the next one. And best of luck summoning for Timeless Aeona. Peace!